So earlier today, I did a package opening, a minor one from Lightning Bliss, known very pretty much known as the Rainbow Alicorn of the MLP Brony slash Pegasus analysis community and fandom, mostly known as the Rift Cafe, and also known for her YouTube channel Lightning Bliss and the Lightning Bliss Show. Well, as I mentioned in the video, she recently opened up her first online store to allow people that have yet to have the opportunity to purchase her, merchandise, at conventions, you know, either because they financially can't, go to a convention, or mostly because of what's been going on in the world over the past year. She is now allowing people to have that opportunity to do just that, be able to purchase the merchandise she normally sells at conventions, online, and have it delivered to the people's homes that, purchase those items. Well, of course, like I said, one of the first things I bought from her was probably one of the more cheaper items she has, and that is basically the Lightning Bliss. I look at it this way: the Lightning Bliss expansion pack of the Prancer cards MLP edition. Now, the reason I bring this up is because when you look at something like Prancer, this is a card game that got introduced and was given more notoriety since the beginning, or mostly since the beginning, of the MLP FIM, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic phenomenon, took surface, or began, spreading its wings and captivating the entire world, the entire nation, crossing boundaries and genders, gaining fans from all sorts of, all sorts of kinds of, life and generations, if you will. So, the reason I bring that up is because, as I said, Prancer was one of those fan-made, as far as we know, fan-made card games that got introduced during that time, and mostly it's associated with, like I said, MLP. Now, just like with any card game, like let's say, let me see if I can find it, bring it out here for a second for an example. Like, let's say something like, well, here's one of the original card games. Like, let's say Yu-Gi-Oh! One of the things that, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was always known to do, as well as things like Pokemon and all that, is they would release expansion packs, or they would release additional card sets to add to your deck, to add to your collection. Well, that's kind of what Prancer does as well. And the people behind Prancer, like Skyle Railroad and Bleeding Tree, they basically assure anybody out there the opportunity through the Skyle Railroad site or shop online store. They guarantee you the opportunity to be able to expand your Prancer deck from what it originally is. Because the original Prancer deck, from what I could tell, and eventually will be in my hands very soon, is its 54 cards. And it's 54 cards containing a majority of the characters you've seen in the show. Now, the expansion packs vary from different aspects of the show, or different aspects associated with the fandom. For example, you have a Curran expansion pack, which is also going to be part of what I get with my Prancer set when it comes in the mail. You also got individual cards, like two I'm getting along with the Prancer deck and the Curran set as well. But one of the other expansion packs that kind of, at the time right now, as I do this, currently is sold out, is the YouTuber set, in which this card, the Lightning Bliss card, is a part of. Now, I know I'm getting too long into this. In fact, let me see. I'm about almost 5 minutes in. So to get to the point, the reason I bring all this up is mainly the fact that, when you look at these Prancer cards, you do realize that there are sites out there like NPC that allow you to create your own deck of cards. Either it's your own deck of regular card games to do things like solitaire or poker or whatever, or it's the kind of site that allows you to create your own fan-based card games based on whatever you want to, base it on. Whether it's some original idea, it's based on the furry fandom and furry OCs, or established furry anthropomorphic characters from franchises seen in shows or comics or games, or, like I said, in the case of Prancer, MLP. Now, I bring all this up due to the fact that, it's very easy for anybody to take something like a Prancer card like this and basically scan the back. All they have to do is just scan the back. If they got a scanner, whether it's individual or it's a combo, if you will, a scanner, fax, copy machine, one of those things, and it's either wireless or wired or whatever the case may be. The point is, if you have that on hand, you could easily copy the back here, and then what you could do very carefully is you can go online and find whatever suits your fancy that you feel would be appropriate for a Prancer-like game to be created out of. For example, let's say you're a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog and you find an image of Amy Rose, you could do the same thing. I mean, the Sonic X anime had a card set as well, but if you're doing like Prancer-related stuff, you can find an image of Amy Rose and there you go. The same with, Zootopia. I don't want to bring Judy out here or anything, but the same thing with Zootopia. You want to do a Prancer game of the Zootopia characters? You could do that too. All you have to do is just copy the back of the Prancer set and off you go. However, if you want to basically get, if you want to basically, gain those hard to get expansion packs, let's say as far as MLP is concerned, you can do that too. Because when you look online, there is a peripheral of images of the Prancer card sets of the YouTuber expansion set, the Kirin, the individuals, the OCs. They are all out there. And all you have to do is just download that image, go to whatever photo software you utilize on your computer, edit down that photo, and then along with the back of the Prancer set that you've scanned, and of course through the same photo software you've edited down, what you do is you can go to the NPC site, and for whatever amount you want to go with, you can start making your own card set. That's a fact. Let's say you don't have for example, going back to the YouTuber expansion set, let's say you don't have the Firebrand card, you want the Firebrand card, you just download Firebrand's image from that card, you edit it down to where it just focuses on the image, you take the back of the Prancer card that you've scanned, you edit that down, and before you know it, and you go through the site like NPC, before you know it, you could have your own Firebrand card in your hands. And that's a fact. And I also think that's why the YouTuber expansion pack is sold out, because basically Skyle Railroad and Bleeding Tree haven't had an opportunity to get in contact with NPC online and order a new expansion set of the YouTubers like Lightning Bliss and Silver Quill and Dr. Wolf and a few others. In fact, Bleeding Tree is actually creating newer cards that are fan-oriented only, kind of along the lines of, let's say, the Egyptian gods of Yu-Gi-Oh! When those got first introduced and those became official cards, even though they were official cards at first, you originally, when they were first introduced officially, to be purchased and everything by people like me, you couldn't use them in a tournament game because basically they would give you an easy way out to win, if you know what I mean. So what I'm getting at is that's kind of along the lines, if you will, of what was I trying to say? It's kind of along the lines of basically what these fan-oriented only cards or card images, Prancer-wise, that Bleeding Tree is creating are treated as. Like there's one of the Brony OC Jasper by Doll Jostinator, and that's only fan-oriented only. That's a fandom-only card. Like if you try to use it in a game, it won't work. The same with if you did a Fiora the Tank Girl one, or a Midnight Sonata, or a Thespio. Those are fan-oriented images only. Try to use them in a card game, they won't work. But it doesn't mean you can't create a Prancer card out of them yourself. And that's where I think basically Bleeding Tree and Skyle Railroad have to really think about, what they do here. Like, they got to go out. Because here's the thing, if I'm, Skyle Railroad and Prance and Bleeding Tree, what I do is I basically try to find a way to make sure this doesn't happen. I go out and I talk to people like NPC and others that I may have worked with to get the Prancer game off the ground in a reality, and I try to tell them, hey, if anybody tries to do this, do not go forward with the purchase because they're taking something that they did not create originally, but we did. They basically got to do some kind of a copyright deal to prevent anything like this from happening. But in my opinion though, right now, it's open game. As far as I know, it's open season. Because again, all people have to do is take the back of this card, scan it, and then all they have to do is find an image. Like, let's say they want to find an image of Euphoria, and all they have to do is use the photo software to edit down the card, the back of the card, to be an appropriate size, and then, edit down, certain aspects of the Euphoria image, Euphoria Prancer image, if you will, and there you go. That's what they have to be careful about. Or that's basically what they can do, I should say, because right now, it's open season. And I think Skyle Railroad and Bleeding Tree know that. But again, it's not just limited to MLP. All you have to do, if you don't want to do that, if you want to have respect for what they're doing, all you have to do is just take the Prancer set, or the back of the cards, of the Prancer cards, if you will, and basically scan them, and then use any image you want to say, this is a new card game I came up with. And I want to thank the people that came up with Prancer for inspiring me to do it. And you could do that. I mean, for example, you go to Skyle Railroad, and they got a furry fandom focused edition of Prancer, to go along with the MLP one. So, again, when you look at Prancer, when you look at a game like Prancer and everything, even though a lot of us, like myself, appreciate the MLP fandom, the Rift Cafe, and all those involved for bringing it to our attention and allowing a lot of us at home and at conventions to play the game and introduce everybody else to this fun game. Long story short, ladies and gentlemen, right now it's open season as far as expanding your set or creating your own set, and all you need is the back of the card to do it. But that's all I really wanted to say, guys. I know I sound like I rambled a bit, trying to do this as quickly as I can before my mom gets home. But let me know what you all thoughts on, what I had to say. Have you ever considered doing that or have done that, where you basically scanned the back of the Prancer card and decided, hey, I'm going to download an image and make my own card set, if you will, or make my own expansion pack for the current card set that I purchased? Have you ever done that or considered it? What are your thoughts on that? Have you done that or considered it? Let me know down below. Let me know in the live chat. But again, I have to thank, people like Lightning Bliss for bringing this to our attention and, allowing us the opportunity to purchase mini expansion packs, in her case, to add to our sets that we will be getting. But let me know what you guys, again, think down below about what I've had to say. Let me know, again, in the live chat, in the comments. Have you ever considered doing something like that or have done it? And that's all I can say, guys. So till next time, stay safe. God bless. I'm out.